Welcome viewers to today's exploration into the intriguing world of psychopathy. Today, we delve deep into the psyche of individuals with psychopathic traits, uncovering 25 telltale signs of their behavior. 1. Lack of empathy. Psychopaths have difficulty understanding or connecting with the emotions of others, making it challenging for them to empathize or show compassion. Empathy allows them to manipulate and exploit others without feeling guilt or remorse, as they are not emotionally affected by the suffering they cause. 2. Superficial charm. Psychopaths often possess a superficial charm and charisma that enables them to easily win over others. They use their charm to create a favorable impression and gain trust, allowing them to manipulate and control people more effectively for their own benefit. 3. Grandiose sense of self. Psychopaths have an inflated sense of self-worth and superiority, believing themselves to be exceptional or above the rules that govern others. This grandiosity fuels their sense of entitlement and drives their manipulative behavior as they seek to fulfill their desires and maintain their perceived superiority. 4. Pathological lying. Psychopaths engage in habitual lying as a means of manipulating and controlling their environment. They lie effortlessly and convincingly to achieve their goals or cover up their misdeeds, often creating elaborate fabrications to maintain their facade of charm and deceit. 5. Manipulative behavior. Psychopaths are skilled manipulators who use deceit, flattery, and persuasion to exploit others for personal gain. They manipulate people's emotions, beliefs, and perceptions to control their behavior and achieve their own objectives, often without regard for the well-being of others. 6. Lack of remorse. Psychopaths lack the capacity to feel genuine remorse or guilt for their actions, even when they cause harm or suffering to others. This absence of remorse allows them to engage in unethical or immoral behavior without experiencing the moral constraints that typically guide people's actions. 7. Shallow emotions. Psychopaths experience emotions in a shallow and superficial manner, lacking depth and intensity in their emotional responses. They may mimic the outward expressions of emotions to manipulate others but lack genuine emotional connection or empathy for others' feelings. 8. Impulsivity. Psychopaths exhibit impulsive behavior, acting on their immediate desires and whims without considering the long-term consequences. Their impulsivity often leads them to engage in risky or reckless behavior, as they prioritize instant gratification over prudent decision-making. 9. Irresponsibility. Psychopaths demonstrate a pattern of irresponsibility in various aspects of their lives, including work, finances, and relationships. They may neglect their obligations, fail to follow through on commitments, or disregard the consequences of their actions, as they prioritize their own needs and desires above all else. 10. Parasitic lifestyle. Psychopaths may adopt a parasitic lifestyle, relying on others to provide for their needs while contributing little or nothing themselves. They exploit relationships for financial or material gain, taking advantage of the generosity or naivety of others without feeling any obligation to reciprocate. 11. Lack of long-term goals. Psychopaths tend to live in the moment, lacking long-term goals or aspirations for their future. They may struggle to plan or strategize beyond immediate gratification, as they prioritize short-term gains and instant pleasure over sustained effort or achievement. 12. Proneness to boredom. Psychopaths have a low tolerance for boredom and monotony, constantly seeking stimulation and excitement to alleviate their restless nature. They may engage in risky or thrill-seeking behavior to satisfy their need for novelty and intensity, as they quickly become bored with routine or predictable activities. 13. Promiscuous sexual behavior. Psychopaths may engage in promiscuous or risky sexual behavior, pursuing numerous partners without emotional attachment or commitment. They view sex as a means of gratification and conquest, using seduction and manipulation to fulfill their desires without regard for the consequences or impact on others. 14. Criminal versatility. Psychopaths may engage in a wide range of criminal activities, demonstrating adaptability and versatility in their illicit pursuits. From fraud and theft to violence and exploitation, they exploit opportunities for personal gain without remorse or empathy for their victims. 15. Lack of empathy for animals. Psychopaths may display cruelty or indifference towards animals, viewing them as objects to be used or abused for their own amusement or gratification. They may harm or neglect animals without feeling empathy or remorse for their suffering, as they prioritize their own desires above the welfare of sentient beings. 16. Need for control. Psychopaths have an intense need for control and dominance over others, seeking to manipulate people and situations to serve their own interests. They may use intimidation, coercion, or manipulation to exert power and influence, as they derive satisfaction from the sense of superiority and control it provides them. 17. Failure to accept responsibility. Psychopaths often refuse to accept responsibility for their actions, deflecting blame onto others or making excuses to avoid accountability. They may shift responsibility onto their victims or scapegoat others to evade consequences for their misdeeds, as they prioritize self-preservation and self-interest above integrity or moral principles. 18. Lack of insight. Psychopaths may lack insight into their own behavior and its impact on others, failing to recognize or acknowledge the harm they cause. They may rationalize or justify their actions to avoid confronting uncomfortable truths about themselves, as they prioritize self-image and self-preservation above self-awareness or introspection. 19. Short-temperedness. Psychopaths may have a short temper and display sudden outbursts of anger or aggression when their desires are frustrated or challenged. They may react impulsively to perceived slights or threats to their ego, using intimidation or violence to assert dominance and control in confrontational situations. 20. Lack of fear. Psychopaths exhibit a fearless demeanor and lack of anxiety in situations that would typically evoke fear or apprehension in others. They may engage in risky or dangerous activities without hesitation or concern for their safety, as they perceive themselves as invulnerable or immune to harm. 21. Superficial relationships. Psychopaths form shallow and superficial relationships with others, lacking genuine emotional connection or empathy. They may use people as tools or objects to fulfill their own needs and desires, without forming meaningful bonds or attachments based on mutual respect or affection. 22. Cunning and manipulative. Psychopaths are highly skilled at deception and manipulation, using cunning and guile to exploit others for personal gain. They may employ charm, flattery, or intimidation to influence people's perceptions and behavior, as they prioritize their own agenda above the well-being of others. 23. Lack of empathy for victims. Psychopaths show little empathy or remorse for the harm they inflict on others, viewing their victims as objects to be used or discarded without regard for their suffering. They may rationalize or justify their actions to avoid confronting the moral implications of their behavior, as they prioritize self-interest and gratification above empathy or compassion. 25. Thrill-seeking behavior. Psychopaths may engage in risky or dangerous activities to satisfy their need for excitement and stimulation. They may seek out adrenaline-inducing experiences or pursue risky ventures without regard for their safety or the consequences of their actions, as they prioritize sensation-seeking and instant gratification over caution or prudence. Well, there you have it. Psychopathy is a complex and often misunderstood topic, but hopefully, this breakdown sheds some light on the subject. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing content. Until next time, stay curious.